Previously on
Da Birds.
To trade what the Lions are going to look for the number 1 overall pick. And he's gone. I don't even have a chance to think about the trade. Owen Hauser, University of Colorado, has gone to the Detroit Lions. The Jets at 2. I mean, they were mocked with the quarterback. I don't think they are going to grab one. So they moved on from Zach Wilson? They grabbed literally like the only other quarterback I would have considered. Okay, there's no way. There is no way, no chance. And if there is, like, I hate that this is my job. If the Chargers draft a quarterback with Justin Herbert there, this needs to be screenshot and sent to the powers that be of Madden. There's no way they're going to. You say that and they got Zach Wilson. Does he have a dev trait, though? Like, if you had a normal dev, I could see that. There's no way. There's no way they get a quarterback. Yellow? You want to make a deal? Do you see this shit that's going on? Fuck it. Let's make a deal. So it's time to talk about that phone call. There's multiple phone calls. First one was the Seattle Seahawks, where they said they would trade us Russell Wilson for our first 2 first-round picks, 2 top 10 picks. And I was like, yes, I could take Russell Wilson for sure. And as soon as word got back to Russell Wilson and his agent that this trade was very close to going through, Russell Wilson straight up said, I will not play for the Philadelphia Eagles. He does not want to be a part of this rebuild project. And unfortunately, this trade could not go through. Now it was time to talk to the Chargers, who flipped the league on its head, drafting Tyson Atkinson, quarterback out of Oregon, to come and replace their existing quarterback out of Oregon, who had a record-breaking rookie season not just 2 years ago. And we reached out to them, and I said, I got 3 first-round picks. If you are something weird's going on there with Justin Herbert, is it an off-the-field thing? I know he's dating that chick from the NFL Network. Is there some issues there? That won't be a problem with us. Take these 3 first-round picks, and the Chargers accepted. No questions asked. That's where the red flags started to pop up just a little bit. And ultimately, this trade got declined. We brought in Justin Herbert. We were ecstatic. The Eagles fan base was absolutely electric, and he failed our medical. He failed his medical as soon as he came to the building, voided the trade. At this point, we're going to respect his privacy. We're not going to disclose why he failed his medical, but ultimately, this trade did not make sense for the Philadelphia Eagles. And at this point, we're kind of screwed. Until Yellow? You want to make a deal? Fuck it. Let's make a deal. In 2019, Josh Rosen was a top 10 pick for the Arizona Cardinals, but had a disappointing rookie season where he wasn't necessarily a scheme fit and had more interceptions than touchdowns. The Cardinals quickly traded him the following offseason to the Miami Dolphins for a 2nd and 5th round pick, and then the Arizona Cardinals went on to draft Kyler Murray in the 2020 NFL Draft. Fast forward to 2021. Zach Wilson of the New York Jets was selected number 2 overall in the 2021 Draft, and his first year was not great. He ended up finishing with more interceptions than touchdowns, and the Jets quickly found out that he wasn't the best scheme fit for Robert Saleh's offense. Jets at 2. I mean, they were mocked with the quarterback. I don't think they are going to grab one. So they moved on from Zach Wilson? As a front office, as a brand new staff, Kellen Moore coming in the building, we are tasked with an incredibly difficult decision. All the quarterbacks are off the board. Russell Wilson didn't want to come here. Justin Herbert couldn't pass the medical. And the Jets just dialed us up saying, hey, you want Zach Wilson? And already I'm thinking in my head, just flashbacks. Josh Rosen, what did Josh Rosen go for? How can we kind of work this thing out? But above all, we had to consult Kellen Moore. I'm not going to bring in a quarterback that's not going to be able to operate his offense. So we broke it down. We broke down the tape as quickly as possible. It almost felt like with the information that Kellen Moore, the confidence that Kellen Moore had, he was envisioning that this could potentially happen. Zach Wilson, 76 overall. Star dev quarterback, only 23. Last year we had Jalen Hurts, noodle arm. Gardner Minshew for a game, noodle arm. Zach Wilson, 95 throw power. You cannot teach that. Oh, you want to be able to scramble a little bit. We want to be able to have a quarterback that can operate and do the things Dak Prescott did for the Dallas Cowboys under Kellen Moore. 83 speed, 88 acceleration, 84 agility. He's a great athlete. So the only thing that was left to be said was I asked Kellen Moore, can Zach Wilson operate your offense? Is Zach Wilson going to be the quarterback that puts this Eagles team back into the Super Bowl? You know what he told me? Fuck yeah. So now it's time to talk about compensation. Myself, Kellen Moore, identified Zach Wilson. Yes, definitely an upgrade for us currently as it stands over Jalen Hurts for this franchise going forward. We really do want him. You know, and we know what Josh Rosen went for. Josh Rosen, very similar situation. Wasn't the number 2 overall pick, was the number 10 pick. But team has clearly decided to move on. He went for a 2 and a 5. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this done for a 2 and a 5. So it's almost like, what like a 2 and a 3? Do I start there? You know, it goes back to the original. Do we really want 3 first-round picks? Is there going to come a point in time that I really want to pay 3, hopefully very good players at the exact same time? And given the fact that we are very high on Zach Wilson, I think I'll do this. I'll offer them my least valuable to me first-round pick. Pick 15, which is my own pick. The own Philadelphia Eagles first-round pick to the Jets for Mr. Zachary Wilson. And we were able to make it official. The blockbuster trade has concluded after the fallout and fall through of Russell Wilson. That was accepted, didn't want to come here. The accepting of the deal for Justin Herbert. And he failed his medical, couldn't come here. And then last but not least, down to our third option, Zach Wilson. After the Jets have decided to move on, cut their losses. They've already drafted his replacement, number 2 overall in the 2022 NFL draft. We were able to bring in Zach Wilson for the number 15 pick. So going from draft pick 2 for essentially 15 the future year, that is not that bad in terms of recovering your asset loss for the Jets. Obviously, Joe Douglas, the general manager there in New York, has a lot of working relationships with guys in the building here in Philadelphia. We are very happy to add Zach Wilson to our room. What does that mean for Jalen Hurts going forward? There's certainly going to be some form of follow, but all we got to focus on now that we've secured our quarterback, we still have 2 big picks here to make in the first round, as well as the rest of the draft to conclude. So, let's get into it. So now we're only down to 2 first-round picks. We have pick 4, and I believe pick 8? 4 and 8 in the first round. Then we have a second, a third, 2 fifths, 3 6 to close out this draft. And our board looks as such, where I think, again, you know the strengths and weaknesses of our squad. I think at this spot, the positions of need, BPA for sure, but we need safety help badly. I think even with the signing of Jalen Smith, we need linebacker help. We can get younger there for sure. Always could go BPA on the defensive line, bring in another D tackle. Fletcher Cox not getting any younger. Bring in a defensive end in case we're not getting that production from Josh Sweat or from Derek Barnett, and we are going to have the returning Brandon Graham. So all that knowledge going in, I think that this pick for sure at 4 needs to be on the defensive line. The best defensive end on our board right now is Seth McCord from Clemson. A tackle, only C block shed. You look at the combine, he was the fastest defensive end at the combine, first in the 40-yard dash. The broad and 3 cone and 20 are all fairly solid. Had a hell of a pro day. But I think because we just re-signed Derek Barnett, we just re-signed Josh Sweat. Well, actually, the Eagles did, and we inherited that contract. The optics of going edge right again at 4, we'll wait and see. And then you got D tackle. Top D tackle on the board's Trey Donald from LSU. And anytime you get a highly touted LSU player, especially on the defense side of the ball, you're going to be intrigued. We have no scouting really done for him. But athletically, he's an S-tier talent. First in the 40, 3 cones good, 20-yard shuttles good, bench press is outstanding. Definitely seems like a can't-miss player at defensive tackle. But how soon do you want to replace Fletcher Cox? That's kind of the question. Then you look at the linebackers here. The outside linebackers don't have enough scouting on them. These guys are always going to be risky because I don't know if they're going to be pass rushers. Outside of like their height and weight, that's kind of what I have to go on. So we're going to more so look at the middle linebackers. And to at least be fair, both of the middle linebackers look very good. Damian Hughes here from Ole Miss. Obviously, we didn't have a whole lot of scouting, but you go off of, he didn't attend the combine, so you know he's probably a beast anyway, but a 4.41 We have insane numbers for the 3-cone, the 20-yard. 4.41 at 6'4", 243. Looks absolutely disgusting. You have Joseph Mathis from Wisconsin. Wisconsin, again, from Jim Leonard's defense down there. He's outstanding. 4.55. The rest of the... Like, he literally looks almost as good. So then it just comes down to the fact that now we go into the secondary. Free safety, not a lot done. We have two players that we've kind of talked about the whole draft process. Shelton Davenport from Ohio State. Ohio State, they make really big-time players. You look at him, he's 4th in the 40, 2nd in the 3-cone, 4th in the 20-yard shuttle, which is good. And then obviously his college pro day was very good as well. But the player that we've kind of taken a little bit of liking to here is David Amos from Oklahoma. I know, Big 12 defenders kind of suck. They don't play defense in the Big 12, but they come up with good players. 5'10", 213. He's projected to be a top fit for us as well for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he has, like, look at that. 4.43, 36.5-inch vert first, 40 is first, broad is first, 3-cone is first, 20-yard shuttle is first. I think this has to be the pick. Just because it's between him and the middle linebacker there, Mathis, and I just feel like we have 82%. We've done the homework. We feel more confident with this pick a little bit more than Mathis. And we're going to make history. We're going to pull the trigger here on David Amos. The highest drafted safety in NFL history was Washington. At that point, they're the football team. Washington football team, they selected Sean Taylor, the late, great Sean Taylor out of Miami, 5th overall. We are sitting here at pick 4. The pressure is going to be enormous. He is going to be the highest drafted safety in NFL history. But you can't look at those physicals and be like, that guy's not going to be freakishly good. B tackle, B hit power. I wish I knew that man coverage, to be honest with you. But I think that is the pick. David Amos, and he's hidden dev. 90 acceleration, 93 agility, 88 jumping, 93 speed. Whew. We got A awareness, B block shed. You can do a little bit of kick returning there. B pursuit. I mean, we're going to see his rating at the end of the draft, but there we go, man. Pick 4, the highest drafted safety in NFL history. No pressure, kid. David Amos out of Oklahoma. Welcome to Philadelphia. I'm kind of hoping now we're going to go against the grain of Philadelphia traditionally when Howie Roseman was pulling the strings. That linebacker's there at pick number 8. He's our guy. Might as well watch it live here. Our pick's coming up. So the Houston Texans at pick 5 select Shelton Davenport, the other safety. So, forever linked. Safeties, usually it's talked about quarterbacks that go one after another, but, before today, Shelton Davenport would have tied the highest drafted safety in NFL history. Pick 8, pick 6, Brian Evans is going to the Giants. Kind of makes sense there. Pick 7, we have the Denver Broncos. Don't draft that linebacker. Do not draft that linebacker. They got Alfonso Knox, defensive end from Oregon State. So again, this is going to sound incredibly weird. If you are up on any Philadelphia Eagle draft knowledge, you can be a casual fan, you might not know, but if you're on the Eagles, Philly just historically is depressing when it comes to the linebacker position. We had a chance to draft JOK last year, and we took the worst injury rap sheet I've ever seen on an offensive lineman in Landon Dickerson. They just hate to value that linebacker position. It's a new era, man. What better way to state a new era than a team that is screaming for linebacker help? We got Damian Hughes here. Did not want to attend the combine. Thought it was best to wait to the Ole Miss Pro Day. Probably had some sort of, recommendation from the great Lane Kiffin saying, don't go, man. You're 6'4". You're going to come here. Our field's fast, as they say in the scouting community. But I'm all about a 6'4" monster running a 4.41. Let's go. Damian Hughes. 90 acceleration, 84 agility. The jumping's actually not particularly great. 91 speed, 6'4", 243. Ole Miss. What else we got? B awareness, A play rec. Whew. All right. Now you throw in Zach Wilson to close out the first round. I'm very, very happy. I'm lucky that we got those 2 dev traits. Pick 15 is there. There's 3 players that I'm kind of looking at. All depth players. So I'm just trying to weigh what's the best depth. And I'm looking here. Actually, I can just go at the big board. We have Melvin Jones, who's projected to go in the first round at offensive tackle. Powerful, 35, 36 reps on the bench press. Looks pretty good athlete, you know, 6 left tackle. In terms of 40, which is explosiveness. I like him. I'm looking here at Junior Carlisle, defensive tackle, Alabama. Usually, again, another very safe school in terms of drafting a player. And looking at Carlisle, you know, very good athlete. Was the 3rd fastest at the combine at the defensive tackle spot. 4.94 in the 40 at 3.06, which is not insane, but it's still pretty good. A little worried about the bench press there. A little bit light in the ass, as they say it. The rest of the combine does look fairly solid. I mean, there's probably a reason why he slipped out of the first round. And the last player that I am we had Bobby Dubois, who was a safety that we did kind of consider at one point, but I saw that D-man coverage. Combine wasn't anything special. And we did just sign Flowers at that safety spot, so I feel okay there. But I wanted to look here. There's a tight end. Where's he at? Medlock. This guy looks fairly solid. Looks like he'd come in and be a very nice complement. We signed Parham, but he's only a 66. Clearly have a lot of 2 tight end sets on this team. We need someone that's going to be a little bit better of a receiver. 40 is not great, but the rest of the drills there look pretty good. Good vert, top 5 vert, 3 cone, 20-yard shuttle, 5th and 2nd. It's just like one of those things where, like, backup tight end, nice to have, but is it worth a 2nd round pick? What, like, you know, we just got rid of Andre Dillard, so there is an opening for offensive line depth, and Lane Johnson has struggled with injuries. And look at D tackle. Well, we're like 3 deep at D tackle. We have Fletcher Cox, who was unstoppable last year. Javon Hargrave, that was very good. And they invested a big pick in Milton Williams, who could. So, like, are we looking at D tackle 4 here versus O tackle 3? I think it's going to be my best interest right now just to grab the offensive tackle. Kind of go with the safe option here. And there we go. Melvin Jones, no dev trade or anything like that, but I'm excited to see the rating. It shouldn't be too bad. Into the 3rd round at pick 15. Draft board got kind of depleted. The tight end I was looking at, Medlock, is now gone. You have Peoples here. Actually, you know, again, looks kind of solid. Around 3, 4. It's not home runny by any means. And you look on the defense, there's no one that I'm just, like, you know, in awe of at this point. There's just solid depth guys. Got our linebacker. I'm not really looking at a corner at this point. And I have identified, at least from, like, again, where we're picking with not a whole lot of information, you want to look for the athletes. And I'm looking at this guy right here. CJ, he's on the top of my short list. I think it's going to be our pick. CJ Benson out of Central Florida. Not saying we need wide receiver help, but, you know, we have guys that we like. We have guys that we hope that can develop. Obviously, Devontae, you know, should be an absolute block for us going forward. We'd love to see Quez develop. We'd love to see Jalen Reagor develop, but they might not. Or if an injury, one of those guys goes down, we need someone a little bit more long-term. So Benson, 5'11", 189, 22 years old. Right now, we are currently his top fit. And the physicals are outstanding. He was the fastest wide receiver in the class, 4.33. He has 5th 3-cone drill, 2nd 20-yard shuttle. Like, everything screaming this guy's going to be legit. So let's make the selection. Oh, no dev trait. 91 acceleration, 92 agility, 95 speed, only 55 strength. Get ourselves a little bit of a mini Deshaun Jackson here. This guy's slipping here a lot. Pat Maynard, free safety is not, we don't have a lot of depth there. And I feel like the fact that he is, like, he's been here the last 3 picks as a top player available. Combine is not brutal. Actually, at this point, sure, why not? Pat Maynard, welcome to Philadelphia. 84 speed, yikes. So we got our Rodney McLeod, except Rodney McLeod was 32, not 22. I mean, I hate, like, I'm almost worried that this is what the limitations of the Madden. I mean, next year we'll be a little bit better because I can control all of my scouting from the get-go. But honestly, at this point, we are, like, just looking for, like, the best athletes. And I think that that's probably what you guys are doing. And, like, I was like, all right, we're now picking, like, I'm looking at where should we fill out the depth chart. Because at this point, we got all of our stars. I'm very happy with my team. And I'm looking at, like, all the tight ends, and then I found just an insane freak. We drafted a linebacker that was 6'4", almost 250, that ran a 4.41. Look at this. J.D. Scott out of Michigan State, the last projected draftable. I mean, he could be ass. He could be absolute ass. But he's 6'7", very similar to Donald Parham. Donald Parham, we just signed free agency, 6'8", 6'7", 238. Got D catch in traffic, which sounds disgusting, but look at the physical. 6'7", ran a 4.49 at his pro day. Had the biggest vertical jump out of all the tight ends. 3 cones great, 20 yards great, and honestly 17 reps on the bench. I mean, even if it's just a freak show of a player, why not at this rate? 6'7", 89 speed, 88 jumping, 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 91 jumping. Cracked. This kid's cracked. All right, again, into the 6th round here. BPA, best athlete. BAA, that's pretty much what it is. Usually BPA, we're going best athlete available. We have Wendell Russell here, second right outside linebacker in terms of 40. Great vertical jump, 3-cone, 7th, 3rd at his pro day, but second and second at the combine. Again, at this point, we're pretty much finding guys that can play special teams. So why not? UL Monroe, that's where Doug Peterson, I think, has been coaching a little bit. Maybe put it in a nice score with the Eagles organization. Said this Russell kid's been busting his ass. Be able to come in and contribute right away on special teams. Great acceleration. Rest of it doesn't look so hot. I think another spot here is another linebacker. We have Alexander Glass from Temple. Looks a little bit more like a pass rusher here. You look at from the player notes. Had a little bit of scouting done. 6'4", 250, but he's right in Philly. Was, again, just looks like a pretty damn good athlete. But most likely you have to switch to defensive end or scheme. And again, more depth there is not the worst thing in the world. So Alexander Glass, welcome to Philadelphia. 90 acceleration. Great burst off the line. Not to sound like a broken record, we're just now late here. Special teams. Can you be gunner on kickoff? And I'm looking from Rashad Hayward from Florida A&M. 5'8", 193. You know, we lost Boston Scott, so there is a spot there open in the running back room. And he blew out the doors off the place at the combine. Fastest running back, 4.41. 3-cone was pretty damn good. Fastest 20-yard shuttle. Great vertical. See what this kid can do. Rashad Hayward, 90 acceleration. Maybe it was a slow class, right? 90 acceleration, 91 speed. Not very strong, but yeah, look at that route running. A short route running. Maybe a little bit of a Darren Sproles here, if you will, for the offense. Okay, it's now time to look at our players. I'm a little nervous. I'm not so. I know that safety is going to be really good. I'm nervous about the linebacker because, you know, first round linebackers tend to they haven't aged well in real life in the NFL, and just generally in my rebuilds, like I remember vividly the last linebacker that I drafted I thought was going to be amazing was he had a hidden dev trait, but he was like 67. So I have not been able to draft linebackers particularly well. But let's at least look at this. Let's look at something very positive before we look at all our ratings. Zach Wilson in midnight green, number 12. I mean, should we change this number? Should we give him a different? We give him the 2. That might be disrespect. That was Jalen Hurts' old number. Why can't he have 2? Who's number 2 on our roster right now? Is it Darius Slay or something like that? I feel like Darius Slay wouldn't care. It is Darius Slay. I don't know if he would care, but maybe Zach Wilson wants to like reinvent himself here in Philadelphia. But let's get the look there of the kid. I'm pumped. Got the little headband thing going on there. All right. It's time to look at our ratings. I'm going to make some predictions before I go, because I'm going to say the safety is going to be 77. I mean, he's can't miss. He ticked every single box. We did the most scouting on him. I'm going to be optimistic and say the linebacker is going to be 73. And I'm going to say that offensive tackle is going to be 70. 77, 73, and 70 for our first 3 picks, because that offensive tackle did have first round value. Let's see. I do miss when you used to draft players and it would give you like number 1 on true value, 80. Tackle sucks. He's 80. 80 hidden depth. That got to be number 1 in true value. He doesn't like being here. He's a 78. David Amos, the second rated strong safety, but the safety that we scout the most, 80 hidden dev trait. 93 speed, 90 acceleration. You know, we'll act like the negatives aren't there. 72 zone, 78 man coverage. Not a big hitter. 75 catching look. 80. Immediately, we have the number 14 ranked strong safety in the NFL as a rookie. And then Damian Hughes out of Ole Miss, 76 hidden dev trait, 6'4", 243 pounds, 91 speed, 90 acceleration, 89 tackle. Again, not a big hitter. Surprising. I thought this guy would have off the charts hit power. 79, 81 pursuit, 60 zone coverage, 54 man. I mean, he's not gonna be the best. He could, you know. I mean, when you're that good, sideline to sideline, and hope, you know, hopefully doesn't have stiff hips here. What's his change of direction? It's not even there. Maybe a little bit worried that he could get picked. He's a covered style linebacker, even though I'm not really buying it. But just immediately, I mean, he's another guy. Maybe if we shift him to right outside linebacker, depends where we want to put him. We're going to have to find that best combination at linebacker. But being able to say we walked out of the first round with 3 first-round picks originally, and we ended with an 80 hidden dev strong safety, 76 hidden dev middle linebacker, and Zach Wilson, I'm not going to be too upset about that. See why Melvin Jones slipped out of the first round. 65 normal dev. Again, we just kind of have him more so for depth. Benson, the burner wide receiver at a Central Florida, 67 normal, but he's bringing that 95 speed, that kind of reminiscent of Quez Watkins a little bit. So, I mean, we did a good job in this draft kind of getting likes for likes. Like, if Quez went down, someone like CJ Benson, very similar skill set, should be able to hopefully step in the line. I'm actually not letting him keep the number 5 jersey. That's Donovan McNabb. Pat Maynard, so the two players that just kept slipping. Melvin Jones, we drafted him, not a great pick. And Maynard was there a bunch of times. He's only 62. It's not a great pick, but again, more so at this range, you're going to be a special teamer. That freaky tight end, 63, but I'm excited to develop this dude. This is going to be a guy that absolutely could steal the show in like the preseason or something like that. Him and Donald Parham, how you get confident? Maybe move him to freaking wide receiver. At that point, 69 catching is not the best. Wendell Russell, 64, normal dev, 63, not happy being here. I guess maybe it was the inverse. Doug Peterson was like, you know what? You don't want to go to Philly. You'd be like, hey, Howie's not here anymore, okay? He's not here to hurt anybody. Glass in the 6th round, another linebacker, another special teamer. Speed rusher, so he's going to be a D end in our scheme. Or he could, kind of fill that Gennard Avery role where Avery was a pass rusher, and we just have him lining up at linebacker, even though we have a new defense. But, okay, interesting. Can move this guy around. And then Rashad Hayward, a little bit more of a receiver. So much like that wide receiver central forward Benson, kind of maybe being a fill-in if Quez Watkins get hurt. Look at the skill set here for Hayward. Gives you a little bit of, like, Kenny Gainwell to a certain degree. Like, good speed, pretty good carrying and stuff like that, but you're getting 72 catching, 77 short running, 76 meat. Like, we can move this guy to wide receiver. Guy's a hell of a gadget player for us. 85 kick return, special teams demon, bench value at a Florida A&M here in round 6. So I'm very happy with the draft, even though that's not a good pick. I'll admit that that's not a good pick in the 65, but hitting on these two, David Amos, Damian Hughes, welcome to Philadelphia. Man, it feels good to capitalize on our picks and not just know that they're going to suck because Howie Roseman made those picks. I want to actually see if we got, now we got the QBs, right? The QBs said what? Do we have the number 1 true talent player in the draft? Amos there at 80, it might be. It is! And we would have been good either way. Shelton Davenport, 78. Does he have a hidden dev? He also has a hidden dev trait, so it could be one of those things. The tiebreaker between these two, even though there is a 2-point overall gap. If Amos has a star dev and Davenport has a superstar, maybe we could look back to regret that. Owen Hauser, the quarterback here. I don't want to necessarily cheese the dev traits to see what they have right away, but great pick. 76 hidden dev, 95 throw power. So literally, it looks like with Zach Wilson, we missed out on Owen Hauser, who was the top QB in the draft, and we got Zach Wilson, who has the same throw power and is a little bit better athlete. So depending on the dev trait there, obviously Zach Wilson's on a star. That could be better. Atkinson was the player that I almost certainly was going to draft. I would say 99% was going to draft him if he fell to us. He's 76 hidden dev, so the same rating as Zach Wilson. Not as much throw power. He's a more accurate player, kind of similar athlete. But, yeah, hey, prayers up to whatever the hell's going on with Justin Herbert up there. Hughes is a top 10 talent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the 1 and 5. Let's go. Exactly what we want. Donald was also high on our draft board. He has a hidden dev. We had the defensive end. Was another guy we were looking for. Look at that, man. 74 tight end, and we missed out on that. People's at tight end there. But where's McCord? This is the other guy I was considering. Only normal dev for Seth McCord from Clemson. Okay. I'm a little bit interested in seeing not so much the QBs. The rest of them that we had scouted. Sweet, 66. Evans, 69. That was the guy that went right after us. So does he have hidden dev at least to kind of bail out? He does not. So a little bit of a Daniel Jones selection there from the Giants yet again. Dave Gettleman, masterclass in terms of drafting quarterbacks. Cam McLean was a 70. McKee there, 72 for a dual threat. He actually looks like a fun quarterback. Randy Gray, the man that's taking over Zach Wilson. He's 73, hidden dev. What does McKee have, a hidden dev? So, we would have been okay with any of the quarterbacks if we decided not to do the Zach Wilson trade and just draft the best QB that was available. I probably would have went the dual threat guy. I would have went this guy, Braxton McKee. Hidden dev, 89 throw power, not bad. Good speed, faster than Zach Wilson, sure. But the other play I want to see, though, is that tight end. The tight end was the only other guy that kind of made a decision on in terms of drafting. It was Medlock, this guy. Should we have made this selection? No dev trait, 73. He's actually a very good player. That's 4.7. He ran a 4.7 and still has 82 speed, 86 acceleration. Maybe I should have drafted him over the tight end, or the tackle. I drafted the 65 tackle. So we actually made one bad pick, but the fact that we're walking away with 2 top 5 players, the #1 overall player, and Zach Wilson, not a whole lot of room to be, grumpy.
Am I blanching, girl, we blanching. I live up in a mansion. I lanching, girl, we blanching.
I think this is probably the best way to end it now. The draft has concluded, so that means the offseason has concluded, and this is an offseason video. I'll be back not too long. We'll probably do the preseason. Maybe we'll squeak in that revenge game week 1. I don't know. That's going to be actually a pretty hyped up game against Carson Wentz, so maybe we'll wait and see there, but full review. I was very, I don't know how long. I dwelled on this for 2 days about how I was going to do this. I had people saying, C4, you have to get Justin Herbert. C4, if you get Justin Herbert, I'm not going to watch anymore. Failed his physical. Wasn't even in consideration at that point. We got our new quarterback out of BYU, Zach Wilson. He came here, down the Dubs from the Jets, 74 overall, and then through one training camp with a great head coach like Kellen Moore, 76. He's back to his best self. 95 throw power. Great. I'm excited, man. I like Zach Wilson coming out of BYU. And we're just going to act like last year never happened. He's now with a legitimate offensive coach, a QB whisperer in Kellen Moore. And I think, Kellen Moore got a fire on his ass to prove Dallas wrong. That keeping Mike McCarthy was the wrong decision. Zach Wilson has a fire under his ass so that he's not going to be the next Josh Rosen. So it gives you a very good reason to decide. Do we trade Jalen Hurts? What happens to Jalen Hurts? What if Zach Wilson goes down and reemerges to Jalen Hurts needs to come back? A lot of things could happen here in this quarterback room. And to close out the rest, just the draft, because that's where we're at here, not necessarily all the players that we added. We got the #5 player in the draft in Damian Hughes. With that, we shifted Devin Bush to right outside linebacker. Have good depth there in Jalen Smith, who'll probably play depth in all the positions for the linebacker. We don't have a lot of depth behind that. But we got Damian Hughes, the #5 overall player from the 2022 draft. 76, hidden dev, 6'4", 243, 91. Insane. Built in a lab. Built in a lab. And on top of it all, the #1 overall player in the 2022 draft, David Amos from Oklahoma. 80, hidden dev. Another player, much like Zach Wilson, was not happy. He was a 78. Had a morale hit coming in. And through one training camp with Kellen Moore, getting all his players on the same page. Brand new coaching staff, OC and DC. We're all operating, working in tremendous harmony. And this team here is ready to dominate in the upcoming season. So very excited. I did not actually know that week 1 is going to be a very important game against the Indianapolis Colts. But that is for another video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the offseason. Hope you're excited to see what we have built here in Philadelphia. We'd love to hit 1,000 likes on the video if you guys are excited. If you enjoyed the offseason or excited for the start of year 2 here with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all I ask for. It helps with my videos a lot in the YouTube algorithm. The first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Very, very close to 150K. Would love to hit that sooner than later. And let me know in the comment section below how you guys are feeling about this Philadelphia Eagles team as we embark upon year 2 ahead of a preseason where we're going to probably see just how good these guys are. And ahead of a incredible week 1 matchup on the road against Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys back in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.